Got a stack of spare souls in my back row vault. They still got their names on them, still got their spark and fault. They look at me like family, not coins to burn away. I keep them in the light box, I don't hear what the prizes say. You call it a fair fight, I call it a cut. One more run for the trophies and you ask for too much. I don't wanna sacrifice, I don't wanna lose my side. Chasing prizes, chasing highs, cheap thrills, don't get to decide. I don't wanna sacrifice, I don't wanna watch them die. Keep my extra Illuvials, keep my hands off the knife. Every time the arena glows, it tries to pull me in. Flashy banners, crowd noise, and a grin that feels like sin. But I know what the cost is. When the chat goes up, a little less of what I love, for a little more of luck. You call it a fair fight, I call it a cut. One more run for the trophies and you ask for too much. I don't wanna sacrifice, I don't wanna lose my side. Chasing prizes, chasing highs, cheap thrills, don't get to decide. I don't wanna sacrifice, I don't wanna watch them die. Keep my extra Illuvials, keep my hands off the knife. If the world wants blood for a win, let it look somewhere else. I can live with being patient, I can keep what I helped build myself. I don't wanna sacrifice, I don't wanna lose my side. Chasing prizes, chasing highs, cheap thrills, don't get to decide. I don't wanna sacrifice, I don't wanna watch them die. Keep my extra Illuvials, keep my hands off the knife. You're a steady down. Fresh in the gate, bag gear, blank slate. You and your Illuvials, hungry, not great. Boots on the stone, hands on the rail. First slam in the arena, first heart fail. They read your move, then broke your line. One clean strike and you fell every time. Dust on your face, grin still alive. You said run it back just to survive. Round after round you stayed in the fire. Every scar taught you higher, higher. You learned their feints, their breath, their pace. You learned how to lose without losing your place. Round after round you rise. Round after round you rise. They knocked you down, you got back up. Now you drink that pain like a champion cup. Round stay down. New scars stacked up on your name, bad brackets, bad draws, same old shame. Your alluvial shook, then stood again. Little by little they learned to win. One move left when the trap got set. One took the hit, never blinked yet. You stopped chasing glory, started to build. Slow hand, sharp heart, iron will. And after round you stayed in the fire. Every fall turned to spark a little brighter. You learned their veins, their breath, their pace. You learned how to lose without losing your place. Round after round, you rise. Round after round, you rise. They knocked you down, you got back up. Now you drink that pain like a champion cup. Round after round, you rise. Round after round, you rise from the floor to the crown. You don't stay down. Long nights, long walks back, salt in your mouth, cracks in the track. Then one clean break, one perfect call. Your team moved like one and they took it all. No more panic, no more please, just calm in the blaze, eyes on the keys. The crowd went wild when your name hit high. You looked at the ring like, this is mine. This is mine. Round after round, you rise. Round after round, you rise. They knocked you down, you got back up. Now you drink that pain like a champion cup. Round after round, you rise. Round after round, you rise from the floor to the crown. You don't stay down. Champion, no. You rise. Champion, now. You rise. The bruises were proof you came through.
Alright, hello, welcome everybody to the stream. Let's get on with some more awesome Illuvium action. Today is going to be a little bit different though, because today we're going to put ourselves into the shoes of someone who's just discovering Illuvium for the first time. I've been in a very privileged and blessed position to have been around into Illuvium for a good while at this point. So getting Illuvials, leveling them up, while there was some difficulty, at least I've gone through that process once. And have been able to essentially get to myself into a spot where I am at the advantage. Or rather, I am at the advantage in regards to my arena matchups. But even still, something didn't necessarily feel right. And I've been very, very vocal towards Illuvium and towards everybody. In fact, some of my best performing videos have been when I'm complaining, which I don't like that to be the case. Why is it always that all the negativity always gets all the attention? But that's not my intention whatsoever. I'm here just to try my best to assist Illuvium in making a game that's easy to get into from a gamer's perspective. Again, I'm somebody who was very, I guess, a disgruntled Pokemon fan, looking for something just a little bit better. And Illuvium is meant to be that fix here for me, and to me, at least personally, it still is. So how can we find more gamers to actually join Illuvium and start playing? Well, I'm going to kind of go through how the experience is right here, right now, for those diamond in the rough players that do manage to find Illuvium. And kind of show what their experience actually is, and then I'll probably be giving my suggestions as well throughout the stream as to what I would personally do in certain instances. Bigman JB, Mothbug, Hector, good to see you all. Hope you're all having fantastic days. Now, here's the first part before I even touch the video game. Because here's the thing. If you're looking for a Pokemon replacement, obviously now we got Pal World to try and deal with, but of course for the Web3 side of things, and then just another possible alternative would be Illuvium. And if you do happen to see Illuvium, unfortunately, what you oftentimes run into even still is posts that are months old talking about Overworld. And then you'll look at Overworld and see how cool that looked and look to come play it. Well, if we go to the website right now here for Illuvium, I'm still logged into my main account here for this one, but bear with me. It sees that if I'm taking a look, Overworld, okay, it's talking about the auto drone. If I think that's going to be, it's going to lead me to the pack pulling. But in terms of Overworld itself, it's like, okay, I want to come play Overworld. I go click on it. And it says right here on the left-hand side, you can take a look right there, it says play now. So I'm taking a look at the game, and I'm seeing the open world side of things. I'm getting excited. I want to be roaming around just like this, capturing my own Illuvials. This looks incredible. But we're already going to be starting off on the bad foot, because of course Overworld's not actually playable right now. It's closed, right? And there is no way to have known that from the main Overworld page whatsoever. It still has everything in regards to the old Overworld as we know it. There is nothing on this website about Obelisk Rising. So people are going to be running into a brick wall immediately once they download the game. And the only possible sign that I found that could showcase the fact that Overworld's not playable, if I back it up here, back it up to the Illuvidex, if I scroll all the way down under Overworld, I mean, I can't see my mouse right now, actually. Let me fix that. But as it stands for right now for Overworld, capture cursor, reboot. Oh, okay, 1 second. I broke it. If I flick over to Deathmatch for 1 second, then it comes back. Yeah, there we go. There we go. No, my mouse. Now you can see what I'm looking at. All right. Yeah, if I go down here to Overworld, here's the only spot where it says coming soon. But even then, it sounds like Overworld is its own product or its own game. There's absolutely nothing on the Illuvidex, nothing on the Illuvium website trying to hype up or promote the fact that they have an MMO coming out that's supposed to essentially carry this franchise. So that's mistake number one. Mistake number two is the fact that we are a creature capture game without capturing creatures. Yes, 100% JB, you're completely or completely correct about that. So, if I'm going directly off of what the Overworld tab told me to do, I would go into Epic Games Store, I'd load up the game, and I'd be thrown right here, and I'm already confused again because, hey, where's Overworld? Am I in Overworld? Is this it? It just said Illuvium. What Arena? What's this? So I'm already a little bit taken aback, but let's say that I'm still not like scared. So okay, like what is this? I guess I'm gonna poke through the tabs. Like the Ranger tab, okay, I'll figure out that this is like a cosmetic station. It is what it is. Drones, okay, more cosmetics. I can live with that. I'm looking at the shop. And here's mistake number 3 for me, at least personally, is that there is no sort of link or anything in the shop that directs you to either the Illuvidex for Illuvial sales or for the auto drone run. So as of right now, as a player brand new to the game, I have no idea that Illuvial ownership is a part of this game. Heck, I don't even know necessarily which game I'm even playing right now. So I'll take a pause for a second. Like, I'll take a look and see at the other menus. Okay, there's the leaderboards. Sure. The game also, right off the rip, threw me into ranked mode. I'm going to take the caveat in saying that because my computer has played Illuvium before, maybe that was just pre-saved as my last selected option from my main profile. But if it is throwing you into ranked immediately, like I get, okay, placement matches here, but you're immediately setting up a newcomer to absolutely go get dicked. And then, okay, team planner. Okay, what's here? There's absolutely nothing. Okay. I go to, if I get lucky and go to Illuvial ownership, my page is completely black. I know absolutely nothing about what is going on. Then if I go to new team, if I'm lucky enough to have made it to this menu, which this was already a lot of clicking just to get this far, like, okay, I can then see all of the creatures and the stats associated, their types and whatnot. But the big problem as well, because there's no sort of tutorial or anything, how are you supposed to figure out what the abilities are for these creatures? Like, okay, I see hold shift for more details. It does nothing for me whatsoever. As somebody who's played the game a long time, I know that if I want to see more details, I have to put it into the team planner first, then hold shift, then specifically go to the Omega symbol to finally see its ability. But that's because I've been around for a while. There is no way that an average gamer, average player, average person would be able to put those together. So the big idea is, again, one, I probably downloaded a game that I wasn't sold on. I was looking for Overworld and I found Arena instead because the website says Overworld is playable. I do not know that Obelisk Rising is a thing. I do not know that Obelisk Rising is a thing because there's nothing on the website saying that it's a part of the Illuvium universe. And I have absolutely no idea what game I'm playing right now. I have no idea how to get my own Illuvials or that I even need to get my own Illuvials. One thing first and foremost, and I'm going to say right off the rip here, this screen right here, right now, where it's completely black like this, because this is what it shows up for your Illuvial ownership when you don't own anything. A simple little text box popping up and saying that you don't have any Illuvials. You can still play Arena, but your Illuvials will be level 1 with no bonus stats. If you want to get your own Illuvials, visit the Illuvidex or Auto Drone to get more. Why is there no direct button in the game to send us to the Auto Drone or to send us into the Illuvidex? Because as of right now, I am going to be essentially queuing up for something that I have absolutely no idea what it is, first and foremost. And two, I'm not going to know that I even am at a disadvantage because there's nothing at all in this game right now that tells me that ownership is anything, that capturing your own Illuvials means anything, or anything along those lines. Now I'm going to queue up here and kind of give the experience here. Catching up a chat here. When Obelisk Rising comes out, there should try to be a Illuvidex in the game rather than a separate website. Yeah, like I love having both. If you have the website as like an additional option, especially if you're wanting to go off a phone or something like that, sure, by all means. But this happens so many times here with Illuvium where they have the cherry on top, but we're missing the whole damn pie. like, or the whole damn cake, because the mobile version of the website for auto drones and for Illuvidex is fantastic. It's a fantastic feature to have. Should that be the main way that attention is given? How are you giving and directing traffic to the website? The easiest way, go to shop. Give me something along the lines here that just says Illuvials, and put two options, player trading and auto drones. Don't put deathmatch in there. Don't send children to a gambling website. So please make it the auto drone instead, please. Just already sus enough. We don't need to literally send them into a freaking bull ring or cockfighting ring. Ethan, good to see you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Why would you want to play without a deck? The bots are already strong as is. And this is going to be kind of the experience. I'm intentionally going to make myself suffer here to kind of truly showcase how bad the newcomer experience still is in Illuvium months, if not years later. And just all the little things that could be added to try and make things a little bit more clear here. Because, like, I made a completely new account here. So this, the Lost Snacker, that is going to be me in this instance. I have not played a single ranked game. I've still got all my placement matches. And then once again, I have absolutely no Illuvials in the game right now. However, if I'm coming from the player or a new player perspective, right now I'm queuing up for a game. I don't know what any of the creatures do. And I do not even realize that there is such a thing as levels, TPI, or owning Illuvials and not owning Illuvials. I just think I'm queuing up for something. While I'm looking for this, maybe I'm looking for a tutorial, because I'm scavenging this this UI looking for a tutorial, and I do not see anything. Maybe the arena frequently asked questions, but here's the tough thing about this. Watch what happens when I hit the arena FAQ. It doesn't exist. So with any other game, if I'm looking up for a tutorial or I'm trying to learn something, as an average gamer who has literally anything else that I could be playing right now, this is probably pushing me over the edge already to the point of uninstalling. Because there is absolutely no telling what I'm getting into right now. I downloaded the game for Overworld, but Overworld doesn't look like it's an option. This doesn't look like I'm going into an open world to gather creatures. But the Epic Game Store on the website told me to download it. If I even go to the Epic Game Store, actually, let me go to the Illuvium Epic Game Store page. Does it still showcase Overworld? Trying to see if it'll let me look at it here. See if I can do this without breaking my PC. Okay. Okay, so the one caveat I will give Illuvium here. I go over to display capture once again. So if I'm taking a look at Illuvium on the Epic Game Store. So again, I came here because of the Overworld website said that you can go play Overworld in-game. If I do look at the Illuvium page here, all the screenshots for the most part here are of the rest in peace. I have to pay respects for everybody who remembers the Battle Pass. But okay, I can make my own character, and it has everything set as Arena. So, okay, if you do go to the page, I'll give Illuvium their dues. It does specifically showcase Arena. But there is still, again, the caveat that all of a sudden, you went into the game expecting one thing, and now you're getting something completely different. Tolkien, good to see you. Hope you're having a fantastic day, mate. And let's go. So, okay. Of course, there was one change that was made relatively recently here in the Illuvium Arena. Since the arena-focused dev chat, one of the first things Perry and the squad, or the entire development team, I always reference Perry because they're the one I'm probably talking to the most, but I'm referring to the entire development squad, and big shout-outs to all of them, of course, for getting that done. But, one of the changes they did make was that if you're below a rating of 1280, you get put into a separate queue, and you don't end up going up against pros right away. So that's fantastic and all. That's a great first step. But let's take a look. Of course, I'm going to be playing the game because I know what I'm doing. But look at the few things in that few freaking seconds that have already not been told to me. I have tooltips on. And guidance tips, yep, right there. Okay, so it's telling me about the augments, but I have nothing in regards to the ranger. I have nothing in regards to essentially anything else on the board. As somebody who's lost, okay, I'm going to be scrolling over, and then this is the point where I'm realizing, okay, I'm in an auto battler now. This isn't Overworld, but let's say, okay, I still find like this kind of interesting. So we'll stick around with it. Got all the players here. Regions, they're not talked about whatsoever. We do have equip the augments to empower them. Okay, that's something. Gonna play this as if this was my main team, but again, there's a very good chance that other people would not be so fortunate. Because like I'll be just playing the game, I'll be trying to go as best as possible, but of course again, because I have no Illuvials, I know that all of my Illuvials are level 1. I am not taught this whatsoever. But thankfully, at least now in this new rating system, it seems like so are the other bots around me here. JB, the original Ascendant would help so much with new players as you'd only need a starter team, and it could help you with casual as well, where you could play. That's how I started. In fact, I'll do you one better. I started because I found the team that I wanted in Arena through survival mode. That's the team that I figured out how I wanted to play it. But of course, survival mode is gone. And then Ascendant, of course, means you would... Okay, now this is just visual diarrhea at this point here. Tips that can be turned off in settings. Sure, Recycler. Okay, cool, thank you. The fact that there was 2... things popping up at me was a little much, I'm not going to lie. Yeah, that's how I started off. It was through, I found the team that I wanted through Ascendant, and then it was because of Ascendant that I understood that ownership actually was a thing, because I would go into the team builder and realize that I had nothing there, and I'm thinking to myself, hey, why is nothing there? And there was something that led to the website saying, do your team planner here. And on that website, it would show, like, hey, like, these are the Illuvials you own. You don't own any right now. But, of course, I was also blessed because at that point where I was just getting started, Overworld was still a thing. And I realized, oh, I got to go to the Overworld and catch a couple of my own Illuvials. Do I have that luxury right now? Absolutely not. And half of the movements that I'm doing right now don't even come to mind here for someone who's just kind of playing the game. Someone who's just playing the game or trying to figure it out for the first time, they're clicking Illuvials, throwing them on the board. I did not see anything so far about attuning the Ranger. I do have this little pop-up here talking about tier 0s and the Lynxes. So this introduced the random aspects. That's something. I'll gladly accept that. Oh, so some of these bots, they're not all actually level 1. Okay, so this truly is going to be hard mode. Yeah, because I cannot play greedy at all. Let's see, level 1. What are these? Ones, ones, ones? Okay. Oh, there's a little level 3 there. 3 bulwarks. And then the fact that we're at least in this game mode right now, where it is the newcomer friendly section, is already a blessing, because say even just a month ago, right? Newcomers would be ranking up or would be joined immediately into the main ranked queue, and they would get absolutely or disgustingly dicked on because they'd be paired up with players like myself or players even better than me. And that's basically an instant uninstall. So I'm going to try and see how long I could actually get away with this. Yeah, even still, we're about going on to round number 8. There has been no mention about the Ranger, what it does. I technically do not know still that ownership is a thing. Okay, I have a bunch here. So now round 8, I finally get the pop-up here about the fact that my Illuvials can actually evolve. All right. And then combining augments. Yep, we've done that already. It's situated kind of like this. Like, I'm going to try and play my style here. I'm going to try and bring this all the way up to 7 and see if it works. Yeah, this bot in particular looks like it's a bunch of level 1s for the most part as well. So at least for this opening game, it may not be as brutal as I was expecting. But again, that is because I already know how to play the game. Still the fact that Ranger has not been talked about. And I still can't get over the fact that technically I was downloading this game probably to go play Overworld. Now I'm randomly in an auto battler, but I was following the Illuvium website. So I'm very lost. I'm very concerned and like wondering just what the heck happened. They're gonna rotate, aren't they? You go in the corner. Something like that. Yeah, we'll see if this is possible. And again, none of this entire topic again here for the this Illuvium Arena stream, it's not meant to say that anybody's doing like anything wrong per se. Like, I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm not trying to threaten anybody's work. I'm not trying to even get angry. I'm just trying to say from like the point of view of someone who's just picking up the game for the first time, and especially strictly a gamer, none of this Web3 like NFT bullshit. Just as a gamer coming on in, which again, you can have your investors all you want, that's fantastic. You don't have a game, your game doesn't exist. So, what the fuck? Okay, this was... I do have this on English, right? Yeah, alright, interesting. Yeah, but like, I'm just trying to just showcase how hard the game is to actually get into. Even as on the surface level, before we even start talking about the depth inside the game itself. Never mind the synergies, never mind like the advanced mechanics, the fact that they're just not talked about, or even just the basic ones, like the fact that this is a creature capture game that currently cannot, or this is a creature capture game that people expected to be in the overworld to be able to go catch their own creatures, but now they are in a game that revolves around catching your own creatures, but there is no way to catch your own creatures naturally. You have to either Web3 transaction it with Ethereum on the Illuvidex, which is going to immediately turn away 99% of the player base. Again, having that as an option is fine. That being the only option is a problem. Because then your only other option would be to go to auto drone. But then at that point, that's gotcha. So it's still a form of gambling in a sense. It's just a lesser scrutinized version of it. Okay, now it's going to finally tell me, it's kind of bleeding off here, and it's actually hiding behind the chat here, but it's finally telling me that I can actually level up my ranger, or not my ranger, but my shop, and I can refresh if I wanted to. Yeah, in regards to the build that I'm going for, I'm genuinely trying to just copy-paste what I would do with my main Invoker build and see if I can make it happen here in a brand new account, brand new lobby. Because again, in a perfect world, when I have my own Illuvials, this TNT of mine is level 60, if not 61, with incredible stats, and it can really bail me out of a lot of bad positions. I do not have that luxury right now. Continue to try and power level up here a little bit. Oh yeah, since again there's no levels, I guess I'm better off just keeping the links, I think, for now. If any of you lose on own them, it's very misleading, like the fake mobile games. Oh. And there's a lot of that right now, right? Like, how many times have we seen... I know I always bring up Rise of Kingdoms because I've played it in the past. Like, not as a spender, but as just a free-to-play. So if you want to talk about suffering, well, that is definitely one way that you can do it. But 90% of the ads for, say, Rise of Kingdoms, for example, is just completely misleading ads. It shows different kind of gameplay than what is actually there. And then they hope that the game that's given to you is still just enough to tickle your fancy to keep you around. And then maybe if you get lucky, or if they're lucky rather, you're that 0.01% that actually just straight up whale out and end up basically just supporting the entire game. But as of right now, for like the start of this game, I will say, like, a lot of these bots, if this was a newcomer playing this game, these are actually some well-built and kind of hard teams, to be honest. And I talked about it a handful of times. I know Hector, in not just in chat, but in Discord as well, has been firing out on all cylinders. The fact that, for whatever reason, why do so many bots know how to play Rogue? And why do they consistently play Rogue? If I take a look at the lobby right now, how many do we have? There's the one for sure. Is it just going to be the one? Oh no, there's technically another one. This one went to the overtime rounds. Thankfully, my Ranger is able to clutch that one out. Okay, so let's say if at this point I'd be swapping this up. Let's give you some additional true sight, some additional damage. Why don't we? Turn you into my carry of sorts. I need a 5th bulwark. I'm looking for which one is my highest level one. Psych, that's not a thing right now. for a flish on there just because I could last second. Excuse me. Let's move on over. This way we're matched, at least in regards to levels all over this one. I did lose my carry very quickly. It's going to be onto my ranger to deal the damage. I did give it a carry weapon, but it's not going to matter. Then this player looks like it's a bunch of level 1s to 3s. Not bad. So this, as of right now, like, doesn't feel bad per se, but it's because I know what I'm doing. I'm not lost through here, and the one thing that would be, I guess, nice in this scenario, if you were brand new and you just hopped into ranked and you're learning the game just through ranked play, you're probably not hitting above the 1280 rating anytime soon. So you'll always be put into games like these, which are, in all fairness, like, rather close. Like, this feels like just an auto battler at this point here. I see no issue with what I'm playing with currently as it stands, but there's also no way for me to actually learn about what I'm doing, if that makes sense. Some more rogues going to be diving on in next here, it looks like. And then I want to see for today, if I can get a run through onto these bots, can I break that 1280 rating immediately? And then see if I can play one game outside of containment, so to speak. If that's even possible with a bunch of level 1s, because there are a couple players. Like, this is, again, a Vanguard rogue. That's going to tear me a new one. Alright, Furiox happily take you on board here. Okay. Try to get something like this. Alpies are here too. We'll gladly take those. Yeah, we're just going to have some Toxic Harbinger coming on through here with the Burn Knight supporting the Furiox, hopefully giving it the attack speed boost it needs. But will it matter? We'll have to see. Toxic Bulwarks come out here from this bot as well. You have the level advantage, so I guess if there is one thing that you can do, like load up on credits kind of early and try to get just to outnumber them a little bit later, maybe? Because again, I will admit, as it stands right now, like, this feels fun to me. But, again, it's because I know what I'm doing already. What I've been talked about, what I've been told about, is synergies in another language. I've been told about leveling and rolling. I've been told about my augments being able to combine. So it's not a bad start, by all means. But there is still so much. Like, I still do not have any idea that stats are a thing right now. Like, I'm going around right-clicking on Illuvials, but that's not even been talked about, for instance. Like, that could easily just be a pop-up tooltip of sorts, right? Just like, hey, if you want to take a look at the stats of your or somebody else's Illuvial, right-click on them. And then, for the love of God, can we get the damn Dark Hollows off of these Illuvials, please? This is just disgraceful for those that actually have Dark Hollows. Here. Maybe I'm a sucker for punishment, and we can switch over to the Invoker side of things and see what happens here, when the levels don't make that big of a difference. Or when there is very little to no level difference. diving through or the rogues diving in on me, but I think we're going to be able to hold off. And then one thing I'm curious about is the amount of damage that you take in this game mode different by chance. So I'm surprised that we're at round 19 without any deaths so far. I could just be overthinking it though. Let's see, they've got a Fern coming. Maybe I make the swap away from a couple of these. Mammoth. Squid. Do the 5 Scion instead to get the immunity against that Fernite. Start ramping up damage nicely as well. Beautiful. And then we'll recap the end screen, too, at the end of this to see if there's any sort of sign that a newcomer would know that ownership is a thing. Because even still, again, as of right now, I'm just playing a game with creatures in it. I have no idea that I'm actually at any sort of disadvantage at all right now. There's nothing in the store. Nothing on any of the menus. And no tooltip pop-ups here in-game. Let's see, is Furiox even a potential... Okay, of course the leader of the game's going for Inferno Arcanite. Or, yeah, that is Inferno Arcanite. I mean, I do believe that it is actually a good thing that the bots are using real, like, competitive strategies. It would help other players learn how to make these builds too as well. Like, I don't want bots to just be playing garbage, because I do kind of want that wake-up call every once in a while, like, wow, that composition was really cool. I wonder what would happen if I would play it. Which Illuvials do I have to buy to get that? That kind of mindset I do really like. So the fact that they are using real strats is a good thing to me. Alright, couple evolutions coming through. Definitely perfect. We got more rogues. Including the Slash-In, which is level 4, but the scary part is that that's already going to be, what, 4% stronger than the rest of my Illuvials? Not much, but in the grand scheme of things, makes a lot of difference. Still gonna try and play greedy, though. I'm not within kill shot yet. On that front, we're doing okay. Can my Sinolf potentially hit that ramp fight? Yep, there we go. Ramp fight inadvertently trolling its team a little bit by essentially getting that Sinolf damage spread out amongst everybody. Okay, I need to come play down here a little bit more often just for fun, because Invokers feel so fun right now. Then I go into actual Illuvium and get my ass kicked, but I mean, it is what it is. Okay, streak, like, this is good. I like that, where it's popping up and reminding me that streaks are a thing. That's a good pop-up, I like that. See, I'm not just here for hatred. I'll give credit where it's due. Here's what I'm going to be wondering, though. Is the next ranked game that I play, like, is it all level 1s? Or almost level 1s? Because I just happen to be, like, starting a new ranked season, so to speak. It's, like, 1200 flat. Let's do that. Okay, board flooded. Fill the gaps a little bit, kind of like that. This is going to be a scary one. This is the player that was going for Inferno Arcanite, but I do have 2 Illuvials up on them. I did let them in. That's a little bit unfortunate. And we are going to get absolutely stomped, it looks like. Unless the Ranger could potentially turn this around. That Omnivamp almost came in clutch. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. How many more Illuvials are there? It's literally just Ramp Fire or Bust, eh? Alrighty. Okay, come back. Come back. Of course, I was just about to get rid of that Illuvial. Okay, Toxic Arcanite. Not going to end up hitting my Archos, but that's okay. The switch over to the Arcanite should hopefully let my Furiox be the main carry for at least a little bit. Considering it's got a lot of augments, it's probably not a bad choice. Good shot, cleaving through everybody. And it's still not going to be enough. Thankfully, that player got knocked out. Dualef. That's a Wildfire Invoker. That's not what I'm looking for. Go back to Toxic Invoker, I guess, for now. Scoriox is here. Any chance I could find a Goliath to keep myself alive? That can work. I was too slow to get all augments on. Little bit of a misplay on my part, but let's see if maybe this Dualef can save me, even though these are all level 1s. Yeah, early level Invokers feel really, really fun, I'm not going to lie, but I will be probably getting killed off here in just a second as the Inferno ticks down. Oh, it's gonna be close, actually. Hang on. Oh, no, we will get taken out here. So I nearly got my, like, Harbinger or my Bulwark kind of... No, not Bulwark. But I got my style basically locked in. Didn't play perfectly, but still did all right. But now, like, let's break this down here. So I'm gaining some rating. That's fantastic. Team composition, that's great. There's no level numbers on any of the Illuvials here, because normally there's another pop-up here, right? It'll pop up with all of your Illuvials experience. I wish that there was some sort of notification that would pop up here and say, you didn't gain any XP from this round. Get your own Illuvials to start gaining experience. Because yeah, after just playing that game, like I'm feeling, if this was a kind of experience that I had liked, I'm actually like intrigued and I'm really looking forward to it. The problem that I worry about is then when people start to hit that 1280 mark in ranked, where then they all of a sudden are now going up against Illuvials with bonus stats. And at that point, the game's going to feel like a little bit of a rug pull-esque kind of thing, because there's been absolutely nothing on any of these menus, again, telling me that Illuvial ownership is actually a thing. Because, again, even the Illuvial ownership menu doesn't say anything. It's blank. And someone who's just getting into the game is not going to be able to put 2 and 2 together that something's missing there. In any other game, there'd be, again, some sort of pop-up explaining what is going on here and why this is important. It's a little disclaimer, just like this. optimally with buttons that then lead to the Illuvidex and Auto Drone. Would be a gigantic improvement in my opinion. Yeah, stop the potential for this game feeling misleading. We already have to deal with the Web3 stigma that's attached to this game, right? Because, of course, all the other games, all the other play-to-earn bullshit that we had to deal with in the past has made it so that people even downloading this game in the first place are probably already on guard. They're waiting for that mechanic that all of a sudden, like, changes the game in a bad way there for them. And for what I imagine a lot of players here for Arena, it's now going to be hitting 1280 and realizing that ownership all of a sudden is a thing, if they even feel that, because again, there is still no tooltip saying that ownership is a thing. So you're going to hit 1280, you're going to start getting up against players with levels on their Illuvials, with bonus stats on their Illuvials. And no matter how I play as the new player, I am not only going to lose, but I am going to be so brutally curb stomped that I'm going to feel like something's really wrong. And at that point, once you've been gotten your kicked in a few times, and you start doing research and then realizing on your own accord that stats are a thing, you're going to say, wait, the game, there's been stats in this game this entire time and they just didn't tell me? Now again, I've said it before, I'll say it again. That sounds like you're hiding pay-to-win mechanics in your game, which is immediately going to make the player not trust you and want out. Even if they were kind of enjoying the gameplay while it was in the 1280 or before the 1280 range, they will leave because all of a sudden, hey, you just snuck play-to-win mechanics on them. And it's not that I think Illuvium's trying to hide pay-to-win mechanics. I don't think so in the slightest. It's just an unfortunate slip-up that it's never been talked about. That there is no way to explain that because the game did it for you before, because the main game mode was Ascendant and you couldn't play Ascendant unless you owned your own Illuvials. Gauntlet is still playing off of, Gauntlet is still playing as if Ascendant still existed. Like, you already knew and you already had your own Illuvials because you were playing that game mode first. But of course, that's not the case at all anymore. But I will say this, once you actually know what you're doing, and you're going into ranked mode, so let's just say if the player was wise enough to hit casual first, and then they were just playing casual games until they had that build that they happen to like. If they then take that build into ranked mode and are able to perform it relatively consistently, then the matches do feel good. Like, that was fun. I did not play perfectly in that game, and the bot punished me. I got second instead of first. That's good. I like that difficulty. That was a good back and forth. Just, again, worry, once we hit 1280, we may or may not hit it today, but we'll build it up nonetheless. And if we have to part 2 this on another day to truly try out what happens when a bunch of level 1s go into ranked, then we will. But, like, this experience right now is not bad. It still boggles my mind, though, the fact that if you go into Arena FAQ, it just straight up brings you to an Illuvium 404 website. Thankfully, this is why I do not AFK in queue. That bug's been around for months at this point here, but somehow just never been dealt with. Now I want to see what happens now that this is technically my second game. Does any of the tool tips change? Give it the benefit of the doubt that maybe this is the time for maybe popping up some of those tool tips for maybe some more advanced mechanics. Oh, still the augmenting components, that's fine. Take that, there we go. Augment components again, equipping the augments. Okay, so this feels very much so rinse and repeat of last game, at least as of this moment. Not gonna lie, it's with the all level ones, I feel like I have to almost be on my game a little bit more intensely than I do with my own team, and that just feels kind of funny. With the change over to the 1280 though, as much as that is a good change, it still just kind of ends up like passing the buck a little bit later. Let's see. We can try Inferno Arcanite today. Tooltip. The crates. Okay, since I left my crate on, it actually mentioned it this time. Something like that for now. Pick up the links for later. And yeah, very, very close battle here. Is my little guy, even though it's evolved, it's still going to lose. Wow, that was kind of close, I'm not going to lie. Let's go for fire, since that's not a piercing force reactor. Level... You pop up here, right? Come on, join us. Switch up. Now it finally tells about the Ranger. So when I ended up disconnecting my Ranger, it did finally make a pop-up at the very top talking about bonding the Ranger. And again, because I've already experienced, I knew exactly what to do, but I, as a newcomer, would look at that and be like, what the heck are they talking about? If they can't fix the disconnection bug when it starts, maybe they should at least add a little sound or something. When someone's working in another window, they'll know they've been... That would be a band-aid. That could absolutely be a band-aid fix for it. Did not hit the fire crate that I was hoping for. Yeah, optimally the bug just gets fixed, because that bug did not always used to be in the game. It only really started showing up heavily maybe a month or two prior to the the Motiverse Cup, if I recall correctly. And sheesh, we had a pretty decent team, and we're still going down. To go. Yeah, we'll see. If I can manage to get the one win just with a bunch of level 1s, that would be a nice one for the day. Part of me might have been a little bit overconfident. I thought I would have been able to hop on in here and just absolutely shred. But it does not look like that is going to be the case here today. But if anything, this at least makes it fun for myself because I know I actually have to play good. That sounds bad, but I actually have to play good in order to win. What a concept. Okay, we're up to 5. 5 fires. Maybe I can even just forego the links temporarily. Get 6 fire nice and fast. We'll level up in a second so that we can get our links back up there. Yeah, even with 6 fire, though, we are getting absolutely crushed here. That is a level 7 player. So yeah, even like the impact of leveling up just even feels that much crazier. Again, if this was my personal account and somebody did this to me, I would still have a fighting chance in that game. This time I got destroyed, but at the same time, I should get destroyed. That's a level 7 compared to my level 5. Those are 2 more Illuvials on the board. Okay, now the links can come back. Something along these lines. Move them over. Move closer to level 7. Not going to quite be there just yet. But I'm actively playing greedy. We'll see if that gets me punished. Yeah, somebody who's playing like myself should probably take a massive beating because I'm not spending my credits. It's kind of what I missed about the old Illuvium Pro League days, back when even ranked mode was a ownership off mode, because you can see like everybody's difference of play styles kind of flourish a little bit in terms of their economy side of things. We still see the difference in play styles, even with economy to some extent, with ownership on. You're usually a little bit more limited as to what you can actually do. Second link's on the board. Now we look for Ace, and in fact we can even look for this fella. There's the Inferno Arcanite side of things. Just need the Inferno. There's Ace, and we're well on our way. Yeah, we are getting clobbered so far. How many other fire? I mean, there's not much aces out there, thankfully. Denial Protocol, there you are. The XP boost is being talked about again. Swap you for you. Inferno Arcanite, yes please. We don't need the Rogue anymore. Let's bring another tank, while also turning the links into a tank. Move these over to you. I'm gonna use you guys for cover. little bit slow to get Arctase out there, but that'll be the next move, so we could finally have Inferno Arcanite online, or at least the Inferno side online. A Fleesh. You've done plenty. Ooh, even picking up a Furiox now. So yeah, we will have Inferno Arcanite ready for next round. Maybe even picking up the Rampy, since I'm not going to be sitting at a good enough credit rating for maxed out. Alright, it's enough getting beat on. Any sort of DPS, damage amp, not necessarily what I'm looking for, not necessarily what I'm looking for at all in regards to any of those augments, so that was pretty rough, I'm not going to lie. Okay, Inferno Arcanite is here. Could possibly use 2 more tanks that maybe the Lynxes can be replaced with. Substitute the T-Ruro for Rampy, maybe. Getting a bunch of Omega power cells, but that's not going to help me at all here. Oh, maybe again. I got Rampy, actually. Never mind. Okay, Rampy, come through. Augment components again. Okay, 1 Lynx, 2 Lynx. Tank, tank. Omega. Shield, please, into Omega power. Yes, please. Make you a tank just for the heck of it. Protect Furiox as best as possible. Level. What do I want next here? Another nature reveal potentially. Let's see. Let's see. But there we go. Now that we hit our power spike, we're actually starting to fight back here. This is looking much better now. But we can see, can my level 1s take this to a win? We got the meat and potatoes here to build. Go for that. Rampy, we'll pick that up. There is the Fern. That's a big portion as well. You come back, Fern. Let's get you boosted. Boosting both of these if possible. Diagonal line of scrimmage. And the Rampy, I'll move. If I was playing up another player, I'd do it the last seconds, but since it's a bot, I can move early. Maybe in case of Arcanite, maybe we add foes as well. Normally I see foe and I kind of back away a little bit because mine is not leveled very much. But I don't have to worry about that right now. We are still getting absolutely cooked, though. They fried my maw. And now the Furiox, the snake just cooked my chicken, so... Alright, this is a good sign, though. A couple of evolutions coming on through here now. Got the meat and potatoes, but still need those wizard peas. 100% you're onto something there. Silver Bushman, good to see you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. For whatever reason, it seems like my YouTube chat is going absolutely bonkers in terms of connecting and disconnecting. I think the stream itself is perfectly fine still, but if your message doesn't show up on my little box, It's okay to fire it in again. If I see it twice, I'm just going to assume that it didn't go through the first time. It's okay. YouTube being a little bit funny for me here today. My poor Furiox got absolutely nuked. Man, we're going to actually lose this, eh? Oh, my Arctase is really, really trying. Yeah, last life, basically. Damn. Alright. Bring in the Birdo. And while as much as I would love to be able to save up right now, and wait for some of these players to get killed off, there's just enough people playing Inferno that I really can't look to do that. Couple big upgrades in that last couple of seconds, though, might be able to keep us in the game. This doesn't look good, actually. I mean, my ramp fight's still here. We might just barely be able to hang on here. Great day there. Wonderful. I'm thankful to hear that. I'm not fighting giants. If anything, I should be essentially fighting early game mobs. This would be the experience that a newcomer has to deal with. But again, the caveat is that I actually already know what I'm doing. But even I'm having a hard time right now. This is actually a very tough round. To level up again, I would need to get 58. Is that going to be possible? I would say lack of quality just gets more Illuvials into the game, but at the same time, like, I don't have bad Illuvials right now in terms of what's on the field. Another bulwark? No, but a fighter might be nice. Reduce the attack speed, we'll go for that. Let's give myself more attack speed. Give that to foe. Let you snowball a little bit. Can I get the phase breaker by chance? Yes, we can, so the stupid bird stops running in front of the tank line. Hey, bang, bang. Just enough to level, potentially. There we go. Sell off one Fury to get the Adorito. Adorito, you swing here. Then everybody snuggle. Ramp fight, steal this. That wasn't too bad, actually, all things considered. But did I set that up in the perfect position for our current opponent? One wrong move, and I'm basically dead. Looking pretty good to start this one off. It's still a long ways to go. Like, I feel like I've already overcome so much, but nobody's even been knocked out just yet. I'm gonna say that now, and finally the bots are gonna get knocked. But damn. Okay, Nature Transfusion could potentially work. I do like the idea of getting Veteran's Might since I already have the Furiox loaded up. And then Foe would be my next potential upgrade, I think. It's not going to show up, unfortunately. Wanted to lock one in for the next round if I could get there. Oh, that's an easy fix. Bring the fire onto the Forest. I feel like we got a good team. Everything, of course, is just going to come down to the levels. And at least now that we're starting to get into these next couple of rounds, there are at least a couple of levels coming on through, going to be making a difference. For these Illuvials that I'm going up against, I do have the disadvantage against. But again, I have no way of knowing if that is the case. It could be something as simple. I mean, I guess not as simple because it could still go wrong. But if you were going up against somebody, I'm not sure if people caught this. If they remembered right when the experience boosters came out, there used to be a little arrow that showed up right to the left or on the end of your player's name tag. And it would show if you had the boost or not. But what if instead of showing if you had the boost or not, what if it showed you who had the advantage in regards to the levels in that matchup, so to speak? Like, it could be something as simple as ranger level that they'd go off of. So sometimes it would be misleading, I'm sure. But just some sort of obvious, like, shiny tell, some sort of notification to let you know, like, hey, you're at the disadvantage right now. I mean, I understand that's not a good feeling and that's not something that you want to see, but it'd be transparent, which would go a long way. I am 2 levels ahead, and even still, that was a relatively close fight, all things considered. We are 1 away from phosphorus. Can we potentially? We are going to get the big bird. How about that? 3 Arcanite. Now in the game, finding these Illuvials essentially right when I needed to. Otherwise, I would be dead as can be. Now, I don't want these Illuvials to turn and burn onto my Rampy. And there is nothing diving at me, so I'm going to put the Crunk up front. Everybody focus my little Komodo Dragon for a second while my Ramp Fight does stuff behind you. And there we go, between the Moth and the Pterodactyl, that was a lot of damage, and we've concocted ourselves a pretty crazy little comp here. The underdog scenario plays out with really good entertainment, and definitely could, and that's why, like, I've been inviting people when it comes to Illuvium Arena House League. This is why I always take the bump, right? Because 100%, the player that takes the bump in Illuvium Arena House League is at a disadvantage, sometimes a big one. And unfortunately for those players, when they do fall out early, it's nothing against them personally, but it's kind of expected, right? We know they're going to be the underdog, and it doesn't work. However, that rare moment where an absolute pop-off comes out, where the underdog's actually up there in the podium and fighting for wins, cinema. It is absolutely fantastic entertainment. Okay, poison. Fusion. Let's see. Turn you into a tank instead. Let's get this onto the ramp fight. Let you take this. Phosphorus will be down here. Rampy, couple Adors. Another Rampy here in a second. Let's see if we can survive. We got Classic, the Rogue Vanguards. Like, this is a damn good team, man. This is a bot pulling this off. This is very scary here for me. Ramp fight, doing some good damage, but where's that dastardly penguin? Yep. We might just get cooked. Never mind, the bird is still alive. And the poodle moth shot from behind, keeping us in the game. Holy smokes. Of the 3 players here, we still have one player's got Ramp Fight, one player's got Scoriac, so there is no good answer in that regard. What I can potentially do, because I don't have any room to wiggle, where's Adorito? Bam! That's what I'm talking about. That's the only thing I could have potentially upgraded here. Everything else is essentially being contested. My odds would be so low for those, it wouldn't be funny. Similar scenario. Crunk move over here, but there is the Umber coming down, so that's a bit of a mistake. Hey, their Rip Lance is kind of stuck, so that might be a blessing in disguise. They had a Sin-Off back there. I did not see that in the slightest. It's going to have to be up to the Phosphorus, I think, to carry this one. Please don't walk into the pit of water. There we go. We might have just gotten the sick team to pull it off. I would absolutely be killed. Now we have to play around that a little bit better. I need to spread out in regards to that Sin-Off beam, but at the exact same time, do have to be aware that the Umber is going to come to try to eat me. Let's see. Because the Umber is diving, I'm going to move Crunk over. Inadvertently, my ramp fight might end up being the one stuck to tank. Thankfully, it's at least not sitting in the water. Does allow for Adorito, I think, to get a heal in. It does not save the ramp fight. That's an absolute nightmare. And we will end up dying. That's going to be our second place in a row here in these bot games. And once again, like I had stated before, no levels or anything on any of the Illuvials on any of these end screens. So it's basically saying to me that the game that I'm playing right now, like, nothing changes. Like, this is it. And if I didn't know any better, I'd be playing these games and feeling, like, pretty good. It's like, okay, I'm actually kind of understanding it now. I'm getting second in a lot of my games. I'm climbing. Like, I'm making it in the top half. Fighting for the last 3 position feels like a bailout with a parachute at times. And, like, this is good. Like, making these, like, I'll call them advanced. You can call them basic if you'd like to. But, like, I'm making these plays to get these big hits to allow me to move forward in these games. Like, that's what these games should be finished in, like, Illuvium Arena as a whole. It should be those kind of moments that determine games more, not just level of Illuvial plus stats. The reason why I love close lobbies, like how we do with House League, for the most part, is because we see more of those moments more often. Like being able to check and see what's on, like on the board, what's being played, making the upgrade that you need, and rolling in the shop based off of the information that you gather, and not just, I have a team of level 60s, I play some on field, my team go brr. That should not be how the game is entertainment-wise. So now you can sell all your Illuvials, you don't need them to advance in the rankings. Like right now, this is going to feel really cool, this is going to feel fun. But again, we're still in the newcomer queue. Once we hit 1280, things, of course, make a complete change. I thought that we were going to be able to hit this a little bit earlier, but I also thought that I would be able to just win my games extremely quickly, and by the end of the stream, we'd have 1 or 2 games in the 1280 range. But I've actually been getting shut down at second as a long-term player of this game, with no Illuvials. But upon hitting 1280, that's when the queue completely opens up, and that's when the bots get more chaotic too. Because thankfully right now the bots have been seeing my level and completely disregarding everything else, and keeping it so that even the average level for the Ranger themselves is still like 1 or 2. It's not that bad. But as soon as we get into a 1280 plus lobby, it could be problematic. Absolutely, it's an intense situation, right? And it's a good feeling, especially when you do end up making that big move, and it helps you win that round, it's a bit of a payoff, so to speak. And when players are doing that back and forth with each other, that's when things get really interesting, and that's why I'll still continue to say, even with Illuvium, with all of its flaws, once you get into like top level, for example, and there's players with or in organized play where there are lobbies that are extremely close together, where the stats and level difference don't make up as much of a difference as like we would see in ranked. Illuvium can absolutely be up there, if not is, at least to me, one of the better esports, especially out there. And in terms of auto battlers, I'd still say if more people understood how to play this game and get into it, that this is better than teamfight tactics on a raw gameplay style. And I know teamfight tactics is the big thing that we're comparing to, because that's probably still the king of auto battlers. And I know it's because of teamfight tactics why like Illuvium went completely gung-ho for whatever reason to try and challenge them. But I think like it can genuinely be and feel better. Especially if there's a creature capturing element actually doable. But there's just so much missing. Again, the fact that there's no tutorial whatsoever, and I understand that making a tutorial makes time, especially in a game that's ever evolving and is still technically in a beta phase if we really think about it. So, like, I get not necessarily wanting that, but maybe you just throw a link. I don't know, some people are really heavily dedicated into this game and into this community to the point where they've made their own tutorials. Just something to potentially help out the community. That can absolutely go a long way. But just something. The biggest thing that I would have to... the biggest thing that I think this game needs immediately is some sort of disclaimer extremely early showing that ownership of Illuvials is a thing. That way you know what you're getting into right off the rip. Green, good to see you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I think the auto battler was brilliant. It just shouldn't have been the full experience. Oh, at 100%. Like, even me personally, I joined for the sake of... Oh, that is why I'm here in the Illuvium scene at all. And again, a very similar situation. The auto battler being an option is amazing. The auto battler being the only option is a problem. And we have that in so many scenarios in Illuvium right now, and it's not even funny. It literally stinks. Like, it's all over the place. Like, if we think back to with their mindset towards removing auto drones, and they really tried to force us into playing deathmatch to get Illuvials. But the only way that you can get Illuvials on deathmatch was through crypto transactions or Web3 transactions. That is a fantastic option. It should not be the only option, and by doing that, it completely killed off the credit card side of things, right? Like, there should be a way that you can do a traditional Visa, MasterCard transaction, or whatever you want to do along those lines. And then you can have a Web3 side. This is a creature capturing experience, so the big adventure should 100% be the main experience. However, there should be at no point where the auto battler is the only experience. And that's why I am still absolutely mind-boggled to this day that Overworld got shut down in January when we knew that there wasn't going to be anything Obelisk Rising-wise until December. Going a year has put this game, or going essentially a year without this game having its core functionality, is terrifying. And it's now put Illuvium, I do personally believe, in a little bit of an all-in, all-or-nothing kind of scenario, which is terrifying to have to go through. I don't envy them, but it's the bed they made. Quality of demands for Arena wouldn't have existed if it wasn't one of the first. And, like, again, it is a good game. Just it's not a standalone. Unfortunately, nothing about Illuvium was made as a standalone. And for some extent, that's really damn cool. I know that's what I got so invested, at least emotionally, in here with Illuvium, because I loved the idea. Catch your Illuvials in an adventure, bring them then into a competitive auto-battler, and then the entire universe starts to flow. You have your Illuvium Zero plots that are supporting whatever you're doing in Arena and Overworld. And then Deathmatch for your extras if you feel like being extra spicy and wanting to gamba. Like, you have options. All of those options work amazing when it's put together. But we have such a rough time, and I understand why nobody really talks about Illuvium right now, because as it stands right now, you have the auto battler stuck as the standalone when it was never meant to be the standalone. So it's broken in that sense. Overworld is gone, so you can't even actually get your own Illuvials. Zero is suffering because until Obelisk Rising comes out, the only thing they can really do, I think, with Illuvium Zero is add training gems, but for some godforsaken reason, we just still don't have that. And then Deathmatch was kind of looked as the savior to help build a runway for Obelisk Rising, but everybody essentially got their full of Deathmatch, and now it's just the mega diehard Gamba players that are playing that whatsoever, which, to be fair, it could be the case of a whale kind of scenario where there's just enough big-time players playing that game that it helps prolong Illuvium, and for that part, it's great. But I don't know. This game requires, or this entire universe requires, so many different moving pieces, but they're not all there right now, and it's so hard to stay motivated sometimes. So I definitely understand it. I see some awesome people in the community, like, threatening to sell off their collections sometimes, and it's like, I definitely understand it. I hope they stick around. I don't want to see them go. However, I understand why they would be frustrated. He says, I have my first real player, TOG442. Okay. I was gonna say, that one does not look like a bot name to me. Good to see another player in here. Hell yeah. And then Overworld played a big part. Yeah. Like, do you remember when we would have, say, the No Limits tournament, the No Limits Leviathan tournament, the OLA collab with Illuvium for the Leviathan tournaments? And what was everybody doing before the Arena tournaments, or the Leviathan tournament? They weren't playing Arena. They were in Overworld getting better Illuvials and trying to level up, because power farming in Overworld was the fastest way to level at the time. And I do see a world where that can still be the case once Obelisk Rising comes out. Like, give Obelisk Rising a month of just, like, pure focus, so to speak. But then announce an Arena tournament. And watch that it's not just the numbers for players playing Arena going up, but the amount of hours that people are spending in Obelisk Rising will probably go up, because I imagine Obelisk Rising is going to be set up in a similar position to where leveling there would probably be better. And just watch as everybody like comes on through that way. There is potential, but again, it's just so weird. It's a limbo 100% because we need every piece to be functioning. We need every piece to be functioning, and if there's one piece even missing, we're cooked. Especially if that one piece right now is Obelisk Rising, and it definitely feels like it's a couple thousand some odd episodes to try and get to Obelisk Rising, so it hurts. It takes a while. I am getting cooked once again. In terms of the build, I haven't really been talking about what I'm doing, but similar scenario to last game. I'm just kind of building up slowly but surely, but this is probably going to be Magma-esque instead. Since I'm stuck with the Sprout Guard, probably just do it that way. It'll just be Magma Arcanite instead. The auto drone runs are basically limbo until they bring power back to the MMO. Yeah, like, I don't know. I know they were going through that big technological transition. I can't remember the exact, but we used to be something along those lines of being on mutable something, and now we're on like a mutable ZK EVM or something along those lines. And again, Web3, blockchain, all that kind of BS is not the stuff that I'm like interested in, nor is it like something I'm really knowledgeable in at all. But there had to have been a way to code Overworld at least a couple more. Oh, excuse me. There had to be a way to actually get Overworld onto that blockchain and keep the process going. Like, I'm genuinely shocked that they closed Overworld. Even still to this day, I'm genuinely shocked that it's going to be close to a year before we get any sort of genuine creature capture aspect into the game. And the only reason I feel like they could do that, or they would do that, even still, is just worrying that there would be too many good players, too many good Illuvials before the adventure came out again. So for a sacrifice of the player experience and completely breaking the player experience, they did that so that there isn't as many Illuvials, so to speak. And that's why I think deathmatch is being, I don't even want to call it pushed, because nobody like makes a peep about it outside of the deathmatch community themselves, but like, deathmatch is doing its job. If closing Overworld stupid early to the point where it's hurting the entire player base, while using deathmatch to call the herd, so to speak, and just kill off supply, if that was the goal, then it is doing its job. But it is making it very hard to actually justify investing into emotionally. Especially when there's so many games, not even just talking Web3, but like just all games. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I had a couple of days off between between a appointment and then the weekend I took off, right? And I'm not gonna lie, when thinking about playing either some Illuvium or finally getting my chance to go play Power World, I spent some time with Power World. Just the gameplay as a whole was way easier to get into, and I had an absolute blast doing it. And I, especially with potentially a playtest coming up, I want to compare what I'm feeling with Obelisk Rising to what we're dealing with Power World. It's not going to be a one-to-one, but like I want to explain certain scenarios if I do get invited to do the playtest. Like, just kind of comparing the two games, so to speak. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it. But again, it's not meant to be a shot at Illuvium. I love this game, love this community. And am I happy to be playing it right now? Absolutely, I'm having fun. Alright, TO G42. Okay, they're a bunch of level 1s just like me, so this is a very close battle. If I was a little bit faster, I should have been level 8 going into this fight. Furiox, of course, being an Arcanite, hopefully able to hang on just a little bit longer. Good damage coming on through. Let's start this one off, I do believe. Hangs on, but I'm going to get cooked by Wildfire, actually. With my DPS gone, wow, the Sinolf ends up cooking me. All right. Better late than never. My Archos will arrive. Need to do something like that. Keep these two nice and close. A little bit better. Now, I believe, once again, there was a lot of fire in this lobby. A lot of fire, actually. So I just need to build tank and go for late levels, I think. Yeah, like, I know, for example, let's say for Power World again. Here, 1 second, let me fix up so I got a better weapon. Like, I know Obelisk Rising is not going to be Power. Obelisk Rising is not a survival RPG of sorts. But I can still understand what's fun and what's not. And that's kind of my mindset towards it. Yeah, let me take my experience as an actual gamer. Someone who's been enjoying video games for essentially my entire life. Let me then also take my experience with esports. So whether it be casual or competitive, I can tell you what I'm feeling from experience. And I'm not saying that Obelisk Rising or any other game has to match exactly what Pokemon or what Power World or what any of them are doing. But I can tell you what's fun. And what feels good. And what feels terrible. Like, say, for example, I think it was leaked, or not leaked, it was actually posted on the X account, I believe, for Obelisk Rising relatively recently, that there is some sort of pick-your-own-starter kind of mechanic in the game, which is absolutely fantastic. That's one of those little feelings that allow you to personalize your journey. And I really like that. However, the Illuvials that they showed as your starters was, I believe, the Doka and the Flish. That is the equivalent of Pokemon giving you the starter of Route 1 garbage. Like they gave you a Rattata and a Caterpie and potentially a Pidgey as your choices. Your starter felt special. Your starter felt different, right? And that was important because you couldn't just walk out into Route 1 and go catch the starter that you didn't pick. Because that would just feel absolutely terrible, right? I like the fact that for Pokemon, you would have to usually reach the end game of sorts before you have a shot at all at finding the other starter. Or you trade with a buddy. That's totally a viable option too. White Darkness, good to see you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Yep, it's definitely an interesting one. I'm getting my ass handed to me by bots. It looks like the Queen actually almost took me out. So I'm hanging on by a thread, 10 HP in a dream, with a bunch of level 1s. Okay, hopefully we can hold this because we do not have much wiggle room here right now at all. Could very well just get killed out right here, right now. Borderlands 3 was the last one you purchased. Okay, and that one's a little bit more first-person-esque, right? Oh, definitely thank you. We've been going through as nicely as possible, like what the actual newcomer experience is for not just Illuvium Arena, but Illuvium as a whole, in the entire universe of games, so to speak. And I think it's been a very productive stream, that's for sure. Because again, I'm not trying to tear anybody a new one. I'm not trying to get angry at anybody. But there are certain things that pop out that I do believe should absolutely be fixed, at least just for the sake of transparency, as to what kind of game Illuvium Arena is while we're waiting for the rest of the universe to come together. Because it's already messed up that we have a creature capture and creature battling game, but there is no way to actually, catch creatures. The Pidgeotto kick in my rear, yeah, exactly. In Gen 2, when you're picking up the gold or silver for the very, very first time, going to the first gym looking for a new Pokemon, and then all of a sudden Pidgeotto shows up and kicks your ass. Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's switch this up ever so slightly. You go here. Phase Breaker. Go there for now. The rogues are coming. The rogues are coming. This do be scary. How many Furioxes are out there? There's just one. I think that's my only out right now. We will barely miss, and I don't have my Rampite in a great spot. Granted, again, these are a bunch of rogues, so hopefully don't waste your Omega up there. That's better. Ramp fight, get up there, please. Thank God they're all melee, so have a few extra seconds. We got some True Sight on the Furiox this time, so that Rake will not be a problem. And we will be able to clean up from there. I've gotten second twice in a row. I'd love to actually be able to win one, but it's going to be tough. This is one of the players that has some of the Illuvials that I would absolutely love to use. Oh, but we do land Scoriox. Okay. Not bad, all things considered. Let's keep you down here. I need your magma. No, that's a little bit too close to everybody. Do something like that. Shoot directly into this hole if possible. Very good to see you. Hope you're having a fantastic day. If they would focus on mobile, there'd be more players coming in, but I do believe that the main problem would still come into effect. Because even still, if there was mobile, yes, you could absolutely have the opportunity to have access to more players, more people having phones compared to computers, and of course all that fantastic stuff. Are we going to lose this? Holy hell, we lose that. Oh, with 1 HP and a dream on that Furiox, they actually knocked me out. Actually, everybody just died. Look at that. That was kind of surprising. Everybody gets cleansed right out. We do stay on the positive side of things. We gain 1, but wow. That ended abruptly. But here, as we're queuing up, I'll go over this part again. But yeah, like mobile would help, of course. Like this game, especially if you're trying to compete in an auto battler, mobile is basically an absolute must. However, again, the fact that if I look at Arena just as a standalone right now, there is absolutely nothing on this main menu suggesting that I need my own Illuvials. If I go to the shop, there is nothing here in regards to Illuvials, buying them, Illuvidex, Auto Drone, nothing. Ranger, this section's all cosmetics. Drone, this is all cosmetics. So in the main overlay of Arena, there's nothing telling me that I need Illuvials. If I go to the team planner, Illuvial ownership, maybe this is the section where they'll finally start talking about it. No, it's blank. And that's where I'd argue, once again, I'll throw this up here one more time. You just need a disclaimer like this for an empty screen. And maybe even if it's not empty, just have something in the bottom. I just realized my cursor was disappeared on me. There we are. Yeah, just have something down here. Keep the buttons for the Illuvidex and the Auto Drone. Just keep it down here. Put it in the player's face immediately. That ownership of Illuvials is something that you do need to consider. Because what ends up happening, because like right now, again, I'm playing a brand new account with no Illuvials, and just through gameplay alone, like I could argue I'm having a pretty good time right now. But again, I already know what I'm doing. There's nothing to teach you how to play. If you go to the frequently asked questions section for the arena, funnily enough, it gives you a 404, not found, which is just a little bit strange. And the tooltips in the game itself never mention stats or TPI levels or anything along those lines. So what used to happen is that the players themselves, I'll turn this off now because there isn't anything. Or no, we'll keep them on just in case. But what used to happen is players would play casual, maybe start feeling good, they'd queue up for ranked, get absolutely dicked on, and then not understand why they're losing and quit the game, or discover that ownership for Illuvials is a thing, maybe through a video or through Discord, think the game is hiding pay-to-win mechanics on you, and then uninstall because they think they're getting rug pulled, which isn't a good feeling, of course, at all in the slightest. What we have now basically delays that process just a little bit. It kicks the can down the road, where ranked mode for the first couple of games feels like casual mode. You're not going to be playing up against people that do have their own collections or their own Illuvials, unless you're just really, really unlucky and you happen to be playing up against a veteran who happens to be playing their first 1 or 2 games of the season, which is an unlikely occurrence, but it very well could happen. But either way, the lack of transparency that there is no, the lack of there being any sort of notification about there being ownership in this game, and no direct way to get to said ownership through the game, is both a massive detriment to the player and for Illuvium themselves. And unfortunately, mobile doesn't fix it. It just exposes that problem to more people faster, which is really messed up. If we had some sort of, like, we had a couple of systems. If we had the Illuvials, the auto drone run, for example, up here, alongside the Illuvidex, would be really beautiful. Imagine right here, in the corner, they used to have this section built out for notifications for events and such, but that actually requires events and such to be actually coming through the game at a non-community level. So this area of the screen is essentially just blank right now, right? Imagine if this was just a rotating screen showcasing Illuvials that are on the Illuvidex. Like a rotating shop of sorts. And if you clicked it, it went to the Illuvidex. That would be huge. Then maybe up here in the corner, of course, the other thing that I would argue for a newcomer is that you have no reason to play the game as a newcomer, right? If I'm not leveling my Illuvials, it means I'm not chasing the ranked leaderboard. So what am I doing playing the game? How am I progressing? What am I getting? And I'm not talking about play to earn. Keep that BS out of the game. That's not what I'm here for. I'm talking about, like, what am I doing to progress my own gameplay? Am I gaining Illuvials just by playing the game? No. Am I getting cosmetics for playing the game, for beating certain achievements? Is there an achievement system at all? A little title, a little picture, a Illuvitar, a little border, or something that I can be chasing? No, 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 and no. So then the question becomes, why are you playing it? And if you don't have an answer for that, that usually leads you to an uninstall. And again, all of these comments that I'm making, have nothing to do with anything against anybody who's currently working for Illuvium, used to work for Illuvium, or the owners themselves. I'm just pointing out what is hurting Illuvium as a whole, or hurting Illuvium Arena. But the thing is those same issues tend to bleed into the other titles too. So if we can fix and get into the habit of fixing for one, maybe we can fix for all. That's my main hope, and that's the entire purpose behind this entire experiment. I don't think so. I play TFT and I get nothing, but you have the free battle pass, right? You're at least getting little shards or pieces that can go towards things. You could just be genuinely having fun. And by all means, if you're having fun, that trumps all. 100%. They're doing a decision by making, like, thunder strikes. No pre-announcements, no ask from the community, except for the ideas and feedback. And usually when it gets to that point, it's usually already implemented, and then we're trying to get something changed back, if I recall correctly, right? Okay, so I'm going to be doing something this game that I don't recommend anybody doing, and that's trying to play Rogue versus a bunch of bots. Because it seems like Rogue is one of the few teams that the bots really know how to perform admirably with. And they go for it very consistently. Let me get that Tofi, actually. Let's see if maybe we can get some granite in here. Very strange that the ranger level is not displayed on the screen or nowhere else inside the game. And that's what's frustrating, right? There are systems, there are gameplay mechanics that are just straight up hidden and not talked about. And because of that, a lot of people get caught off guard, and that never feels good. Okay, fire, not this time. Veterans, no, not this time. Physical res, no, no, no. Attack speed, I guess we'll go for attack speed. We could absolutely snag a Lynx. Let's do that. I needed this to turn into a red augment. Swap you out. Let's add a few more rogues to this mix. Probably should have leveled to 5 upon seeing now that the player that I was going up against was also level 5. Unfortunate. That just means we'll be doing a little loose streaking. My ranger just won't die, apparently, though. My goodness. There it goes. Gorilla will need you. Totofi will need you. Dokas. Blish, clear the board a little bit. Let's hit level 5 now. The player we're going up against is currently that as well. Okay, Snail. Phase Breaker by chance. We're not going to hit the Phase Breaker. I need to, so I'm going to start recycling early. Or Caribou feels like it's so damn squishy at this level. My goodness. It held that line for maybe 2 seconds and then just died. Good silence from the Valente stopping that Emberling Rod, but it's probably not going to be enough to save us. Yeah, my Totofi basically just tickles as of this moment. So hyped for this week tournament. Are you talking about for House League or for Ratty Data? What's cooking? I always got a second guess because I usually don't consider House League tournaments, but I guess it kind of acts like one. Secondary links. Yes, please. Well, that's one thing I never mentioned yet, actually, at all during the stream. House League went through a rework. And... let's see. I can't compete in Ratty Data. Only whales and OGs there. Yeah, that one is the more try-hard-centric event, where the big guns are definitely firing on all cylinders. Now we get the Phase Breaker. No, I don't blame you. It's a friendly crowd, but it is a tough crowd. Absolutely. Rogue by chance? We do hit the rogue chip. Nice. Could throw that over on the Totofi for just a second. Can maybe replace one of these Lynxes with a Railu temporarily for another Fire Illuvial. Maybe even do something like that. Yeah, that's the only time that I can get that Ranger pop-up, the bonding pop-up to show up, is if I already disconnected the bonding after I've already done it. I've never seen that pop-up come through if I've not had something bonded already, if that makes sense. Yeah, for the casual tournaments. Perfect, perfect. Well, definitely looking forward to it. It's going to take some time to truly get this right, but I definitely do agree the way that we did have it before, where it was not completely reliant on your collection score, but of course it was heavily influenced by it. Just was not necessarily the way to go completely. I've already gotten a lot of feedback, though, in the registration forms of stuff that I should absolutely take into consideration, and I'm looking forward to going through that all and seeing what I could possibly implement. But no matter what, there's always going to be small niches, and unfortunately, with the way that I'm doing House League, where I want to emphasize on close matches no matter what, there's always going to be, unfortunately, a little bit of ambiguity. There's going to be a little bit of manual overrides and exceptions that I feel like always have to be made. But I don't like that. I'd rather have everything written down, like exactly like this is how things are going to be for sure. But there is just no way to truly do it right now. Like if I was to go off of Ranger, specifically Ranger level, there's exceptions for players that maxed out level 60s onto one team in particular, and then Ranger level, it shows up as level 21. And then they get placed into Caribou Cup, and that's not correct. They're going to end up getting, or they're going to end up absolutely running over the lobby. There's always something. And I think with the Caribou Cup version, or the Caribou Cup change that we did end up making, I think this is a good start. Just making it and turning it into a casual lobby. That way players can take their time and play in casual. Basically as long as they want. If they don't want to go play for the bigger prize as an ownership, they don't have to, if that makes sense. Put it kind of into their court. Blazin', good to see you. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I already went Inferno for you a couple games ago. Casual is fair to newcomers and those with the half-completed collections. And yeah, like there are going to be some players that are in a very awkward spot where they're kind of on the fringe. Like, that's why I completely got rid of Lynx League, because it added a very awkward section where players that were in Lynx League could basically already compete at a Monarch Masters level, but maybe they're just missing a couple of Illuvials. But players that then came into Lynx League from Caribou Cup after graduating would get absolutely killed still. And that doesn't feel good whatsoever. We are missing all of the face breakers so far this time. Okay, I need the other Tatofi badly right now. Thank you. I can add an additional Rogi. And then optimally, have I not found a single Chuko? That's a little bit of a piss off, I'm not going to lie. But maybe we start going towards 7, because we can't stay at level 6 for very long. We need to start worrying about slashing. If the MMO gets started, I'll gift you some blueprints for skins as a giveaway for your viewers and tournaments. Harry, if that's something that you would like to do sometime down the line, I would absolutely be honored to accept. However, we still got some time. Like, take your time. If something changes sometime down the road and you need to hang on to that stuff, by all means, I'm not going to hold you accountable for anything along those lines. Just reach out once again and I will gladly accept 100%. Yeah, Monarch ownership feels fair because those guys dedicated a lot of time and money. 100%, and pretty much, like, there is a bit of a ceiling that does get hit with Monarch Masters, where eventually you just have enough teams to run the field, for the most part. Like, the big part about Monarch is that you can contest somebody's team, and then they could probably pivot to another team and get away with it as long as they're playing correctly. there's less chance of someone in Monarch Masters, at least the old Monarch Masters, where you contested somebody and now they're completely screwed. No, somebody in Monarch, they could pivot. They have a lot of options. Lynx was a little bit more, I guess, hard focused on like having that one big team. Okay, with a composite ship coming on through, let me quickly make this Granite Vanguard. All right, give me Vanguard, please. Thank you. Okay, Vanguard onto my dash. I need to swap some of these augments around, though, so let's do that for the time being. Any chance that I can hit some Pengu? Pengu. Nope, not this time. While this battle's going, let me check how many penguins are on the field. Did I find the one bot lobby that did not have more than one rogue player? There's just one. That's a little bit of streamer luck right now. Normally, 8 players, there's usually 3 or 4 running rogue. If everyone wants something special, tell me I don't have... tell me what to search. I have 9 fully built plots. Very nice. Don't care about prices. That is absolutely incredible. Yeah, we'll see how things go a little bit closer to launch day. There, Harry. That's awesome. Thank you. Because, yeah, even though Obelisk Rising will eventually come out, it doesn't mean the arena stuff stops here. Like, I'm still going to be doing House League. I still want to be doing it every single week. There's not going to be a break just because the adventure game is out here. If anything, I feel like the adventure game with Obelisk Rising coming out opens the door to more people being able to join House League. I just walked past Allura. That's a little bit bad, but there we go. Vanguards. 3 Vanguards online now. Let the Vanguard duo snuggle together here. Blazon, I've been grinding 0 to get at least 1 blueprint for every Illuvial. You're at 77 unique blueprints. That's incredible. Nicely done there, Blazon. I know, at least for me personally, I've talked about it on stream for the last little bit. For the most part, I've just been having a hard time finding motivation to log into 0, since there's nothing for me to really do. But what I have done is just amass Lynx blueprints. I have 1 research lab per version of the Lynx, if that makes sense. So every Lynx, every variant, I am researching all at the exact same time. But that is it. Why? I like Lynxes. That is literally it. There is no reason, I just like it. And it is the only mini goal that I can give myself that actually feels fun. Hey, Chuko, better late than never, my friends. Let's get you on board here. That way we have Predator now online here, too. Do I maybe swap? We do make that swap, don't we? There we go. But at least we do now have the 7 rogues, 3 Vanguard, so our little stabbing is hitting pretty well, all things considered. Let's see if I can get the charts up for this one. And then, of course, with the chip, this does allow for my Rake to also become a Vanguard. While the Rake does have that Omega, kind of making things a little bit messier, the Penguin, of course, more auto-attack based, so it's going to be getting more value out of those Vanguard shots. And heck, even my T-Ante at this point here is an honorary rogue. It would not be one of my teams if I did not include a snail somewhere on the team, and sure enough, it is an honorary rogue today. No stage 3s, but several tier 5s. Nice, nice, nice. Let's see. Can we finish off the day here with a win? It'd be absolutely incredible if we can be able to do so. The other rogue player is the person I'm going up against right now. So 38 HP. Do they have any of the rogues on the bench? It doesn't look like it. So I think I could still safely, with at least a little bit of rolling, try to build this up just a little bit more. I'm going to go down to 50. And kind of let it roll from there. They also got a Vanguard chip. Alright. I like the spot of my Penguin right now. It's kind of snuggled up against their Lallura. But the rest of my rogues got absolutely dicked on like it was nobody's business. I am going to get swarmed, and this is scary. That's not good. Might have only been a literally level 4, but yet I still got smoked. My goodness. One and a half years for the first Tier 1 Stage 3 blueprint, if I'm recalling that correctly. It was a Tier 5 Stage 3. Nice, nice. Okay, this might end up getting me killed, but I do not believe I can afford to wait too much longer here. So the one bot does have Malluras, which is very frustrating, but they don't have Penguins. And I might just be able to thrive off of Pengu alone if we're lucky. Oh, Blazin'. I feel your pain, mate. I feel your pain. Attack speed, sure, let's try that. Okay. Damage, please. The True Sight variant might not be a bad idea. Add some tankiness to the mix here. Resistances when targeted. I'm actually going to give that to my Rake. Might seem silly, but we'll see how it goes. Penguin, can we find you? So far, so good. Keep coming. One more. Bam. There we go. At this point, we're going to put some credits into levels. Get up to level 8. Throw Allura onto the field. And this should allow me to, I think, take some rounds here. Yeah, anytime I'm one of the reasons when I'm doing This Week in Illuvium on Wednesdays, and I look at the top sales for Illuvium 0 prices, is inadvertently to kind of give myself a kick in the balls when I'm looking at the prices that Tier 1 plots are going for. And then I think back to my Halcyon C, the first one I ever bought, and how much that was in comparison. But it was a risk. And I still have hope that there will be some sort of purpose for those plots one day. We'll do the glass cannon this time. Shoot the tanks and the damage over. The two Predator Illuvials, I want to be right next to each other. TNT, our honorary rogue, shall join still as well. Now, I do not believe that it would be worth it for me to roll until either Soda Aimbot or Missing goes down. But alrighty. Thank you. I'm sorry? Oh. There we go. Slashing's in a pretty decent spot here. Rampy does not get its damage off. That's a little bit unfortunate. And we could still absolutely lose this still. Can the Penguin carry? It absolutely can. Fool of me to doubt the Pengu. How dare I? Yeah, one day we'll be back to the good times, and yeah, this is all just... These are all symptoms of a broken system. To its core, Illuvium is a fantastic universe when it comes to a core adventure title, an additional arena game, additional gambling game, additional support game through city building. Biggest problem, there is currently no adventure game. And because of that, the entire world hurts. Every single game could do much better as a standalone. Like, there are things that every game could improve as a standalone. But it doesn't get hit anywhere near as badly if the entire universe was functioning. And right now, it's just not. So in the meantime, we have fun with what we can. And I'm going to try my best to kind of pick the low-hanging fruit, so to speak, as to what could help newcomers just getting in for the current situation that we're in. Because I imagine if I was in Illuvium's shoes right now, they would probably just want me to shut up and wait until Obelisk Rising comes out, and then we can rebuild from there. But there's still a bunch of us here, and they know that, and thankfully they've been extremely supportive. I've received nothing but positivity from working with Illuvium. But I'm sure they wish I was a little bit quieter every once in a while. Okay, we somehow have both of the rogue players still in the game, eh? If I do end up losing a round, I'm going to have to start spending, and to be honest, I don't know where I go for the finish. I might not have the cleanest option of sorts, if that makes sense. Okay, Penguin, it's on you once again. We did keep the Restorating Impact Reactor onto you instead of there being more damage, because I want you to be able to heal through this. And we're going to be able to barely do it. The Inferno almost killed us. That could have been a problem. The game survives. They don't sell the rest of the plots, just the 20k release. Yeah. So, I mean, there wasn't also an additional idea that depending on the location of your plots, like, there should be also additional benefits with that, right? Like, I know mega cities were a thing. I've never seen one, but I know that was something that you were supposed to be able to do in the game. And yeah, let's make sure at least the first 20k are settled, good, finding their use, and making sure that there's purpose for playing Illuvium 0. Because, yeah, I'm not into the, like, I don't care too much about the supply and demand side of things, or the prices of stuff, but I will definitely agree that if they all of a sudden just fired off the rest of the plots, just willy-nilly, that it could be a bit of a bad time, that's for sure. Here, we're within crunch time now. We're going up against Soda Aimbot. Let's make this thing as tanky as we possibly can. Looks like we're moving over. Feel like I have to level to 9. I mean, if it's going to give me a Fur Knight, screw it, we'll take it. For a little bit of extra interruption. Any chance we can get the Goliath? We will not. So we're going to just barely miss that part. That would given us 3 granite. Would have gone a long way. I was happy to see the Fur Knight because this, of course, is an additional support. If any of my own allies get hit by that Twist Wing like the Penguin just did, it gets a big ol' attack speed bonus. We're absolutely going to need that, but the blinds from the Blotto is going to be very problematic. Takes care of the damage at least. Penguin. You good there, buddy? Looks like we're good. We're not gonna knock out one of the bots. But now the player that I'm honestly probably the most worried about here in this lobby. One more dash. Goliath online. There's going to be 3 granite now. Keep you parked somewhere around here. Is there any chance that I too can grab a ramp fight? This guy's literally one Pengu away from their own slashing. That's incredible. They also have their own doggy, but there are still some in the pool. Let's see if we can find it. One away. I'm gonna find a low lure at least. That's an upgrade nonetheless. See if we can take down the rake nice and fast. That'd be huge. Penguin's gonna be tanking this. I don't like that part, not in the slightest. Yep, we're cooked. Holy hell. That's a bad loss too. 4 Vanguard because they got the Malura. We got the Umber, though. Awkward spot. Let's see. So on one hand, the Vanguard is probably still more valuable. Something like this. These guys go on 4th here. Lead the charge, pair up, dive in for AoE, support. I think that's basically everything I can do. Say Arena looks very polished. Yeah, like once you're actually in the game and playing it, it's super fun. And once you understand what you're doing, it's just a matter of getting there. That is the biggest problem, and both of my carries just got absolutely dunked on. This is not good. Does my Ranger have to be the carry now? It's still a Vanguard. Oh, we might barely be able to do it if we can dodge the Queen. We are barely going to keep ourselves in this game. What do I even do at this point? I don't think there's any real purpose to be rolling. Not until this bot's gone. Same player as last time, and I got absolutely cooked with my 2 carries both going down super fast. Was that a Revenant chip? Let's see here. Both. Just tank every rogue diving in. Just start from there. And yeah, I'm very thankful they're continuing to improve Arena. I was very scared that they were just going to say screw this game and like essentially abandon it. But I'm very thankful that after Nil started focusing super or exclusively onto Deathmatch, that Perry took Arena under their wing. And we can feel the difference in terms of the care. It's a night and day difference, I'm not going to lie. And I'm thankful they're going to continue to upgrade at least the low-hanging fruit. We ended off with a bang. I did not realize that the other bot was going up against us. I thought we had one more in the tank here. But we successfully beat this lobby with Rogue with all level 1s. We'll take it. That was an interesting way to finish it off. I thought I had one more game left there, or one more round left there. Surfer Dude, good to see you. Gear, good to see you. Hope everything's going well. For Behemoth enjoys playing for Vanguard, if you found out yesterday. Yes, Gear, I will be closing up here in just a second. Your Phosphorus had a Behemoth chip. That sounds absolutely terrifying. You love the new account name, the Lost Snacker. Yeah, if you... As the name itself, I think it was pretty cool. However, if you know, you know. And it means I'd be meeting a fellow snacker. So that'd be kind of cool, not gonna lie. Yeah, we will be closing out shop here for today. Of course, today is only the start of our week of streaming. We've got plenty more around the corner, including tomorrow. We're going to have This Week in Illuvium, of course, coming on through for all of the news surrounding Illuvium's universe of games, as well as any community highlights that could potentially be coming on through. Thursday, I will have my tryhard week. I'll go back onto the main account and try to climb back into the top 30. It's been a very back and forth battle between all of yous in the arena as of late, knocking me in and out pretty consistently of that top 30 spot. So that'll be the goal there. Let me hop on over there. There we go. Here's what we're looking at. So yeah, tryhard Thursday. And then, of course, registration is now open for Illuvium Arena House League Week 20. As a part of Week 20, House League is getting a rework. I'll briefly talk about it now. I'll talk about it a little bit more on tomorrow's stream. But basically, we're going to get rid of that middle division with Lynx League, and it's just going to be a matter of Caribou Cup, where it's played in a casual lobby. The prizes will be smaller, but you can play there for as long as you want, not have to worry about levels, not have to worry about owning your own Illuvials. You can just worry about learning the game and trying new builds, do whatever you please without the fear of playing something because you don't have that Illuvial, for example, while still being able to receive Illuvial pack prizes and community rescue prizes. But then outside of Caribou Cup, all of the matches that are going to be played with the ownership mode will be Monarch Masters matches. However, I want to have more lobbies associated with it, even if it means that lobbies aren't full. So if somebody's just kind of graduated out of Caribou Cup for the first time, I want to see that they're in a lobby full of people just in Caribou Cup. I'm still trying to work on the registration. I think as of right now, somebody made the point out that they potentially would love to have the option to register for both. So, like, you can register for Monarch Masters, but if there's nobody within that collection range to then go into Caribou Cup instead, that is something I'll keep in mind. If it's not implemented this week, we'll do it next week. But, again, while Caribou Cup and while House League as a whole has been very fun, it doesn't mean I want to get complacent with it. I do want to continue to do my best to improve that experience for everybody. So we're going to give this a shot and see how it goes here, to try and help the middle grounds, because I think now we have a perfect spot for the brand newcomers and the people with very few Illuvials. We have a good spot here for the super experience with like maxed out collections. It's just about making the experience, I think, a little bit better for what I would argue are the overwhelming majority, which is that middle ground, where they have those two good teams, but if they play in Caribou Cup, they'll kill it. Or the old Caribou Cup, they would have killed it. And if they went up against Monarch Masters, they'd be at a disadvantage. So this way now, I feel like it'll be a better middle ground. We'll see how it goes. And of course, as always, all streams and topics subject to change, because God forbid, if they all of a sudden drop that, hey, Obelisk Rising playtest happening tomorrow, and you can stream it. If that if that ends up being a thing, we might be doing a little bit of a change in terms of which topics are on stream for the next couple of days. But of course, we will still for sure keep House League, if that does end up being the thing. I only say that because they did post that post. It was last week, I do believe, or over the weekend, actually. They were talking about phase 1 of the playtest. So the potential could absolutely be there. But I don't know for sure. But either way, we'll have some awesome streams. As always, if you happen to be new here, please, it would mean the world to me if you could drop a subscription here onto the channel, letting YouTube know that you enjoyed your time. We can hang out again, and drop a like on the way out as well. And of course, to close things out, as always, whether it's in the deathmatch pit or in the arena, good luck on your matches, good luck on your training ranger, and I absolutely look forward to seeing you all again tomorrow for another stream. Take care, everybody.